Assalamu alaikum guys. I hope you all are doing well. Today we are going to be reading a story. The name of the story is Lizzi Locks and it is in your learner's book on page number 62. So let's see what they have told us about the story. Read this story. It is about this little girl. She finds a little house in the woods. Now, look at the first picture here of this little girl. She's entering a house. And look at the picture here. Do you guys remember this house? It looks a bit like that cottage that we saw. The cottage of the three bears in the picture, right? We did a picture description where you guys wrote about pictures. This cottage looks like that. And it's also in the woods. That cottage was also in the woods. And this little house, this little cottage is also in the woods. So, oh, and one more thing I wanted to point out was this girl, her name is Lizzi Locks. So you can see that the starting letter of both words in the name is L. Do you guys remember where we saw that? We've seen that before. In Fingers All, remember the rhyme Fingers All? Pablo Pointer, Theo Thumb, Rachel Ring, when both parts of the name start with the same letter. Okay, so let's start reading. Once upon a time, Lizzi Locks was playing in the wood. She saw a little house. It was not locked, so she went in. Alright, so Lizzi Locks is playing in the woods. She sees a little house. She doesn't know who the house belongs to, but she decides to see if it's locked or not. And it is not locked, so she goes inside. Now, Lizzi Locks is a little girl, so she does this. But do we actually ever enter anybody's house without asking them? No, right? We always ring the bell or we always call before telling someone that we're going to go to their house. And we should never enter a stranger's house, okay? But this little girl, I guess she's in the mood for an adventure. So she decides to open this house and she goes inside. So look at the speech bubble. What is she saying? Who lives here? She is wondering who lives here. Now she's inside the house. She saw 3 bowls and 3 spoons. So this is the first bowl and spoon, the red one. And she tries to eat something that is in the bowl. It looks like something like a porridge or something. Yum! I will eat a little bit. No, too hot. Then she looks at the next one. This one is green. No, too cold. So the first porridge is too hot. The second porridge is too cold. Then she goes for this little bowl, the blue one. Yes, this is just right. So she likes this one. So now she's eating the food that she sees in the house. Let's see what she does next. She saw 3 chairs. I will sit down and rest. No, too high. This first brown chair she sits on, look, her feet are not reaching the ground. She thinks it's too high. It probably belongs to a tall person. Then she sits on this green one. No, too low. And then she sits on the blue one. Yes, this is just right. So can you guys see she is saying the same thing, but the words are different, right? For example, if you come back to page number 62, notice the repetition. No, too hot. No, too cold. Yes, this is just right. Then over here she says, no, too high. No, too low. Yes, this is just right. So the pattern of her speech, the pattern of her dialogue, I explained to you guys what dialogue is. Whatever the character says is a dialogue and it is inside the speech bubble. So the dialogue has the same pattern. She went up the steps to the bedrooms. I will lie down and sleep. Alright, so now Lizzi Locks decides that it's a good idea to go to sleep in a stranger's house. I will lie down and sleep. No, too hard. She thinks this bed over here is too hard. No, too soft. And then this green bed here, she thinks this is too soft. And then the blue one, yes, this is just right. Zzz. So this zzz over here means that she's sleeping. This is to indicate that she's going to sleep, and she's probably making some sound or snoring or something. All right, so the story does not end here, but we are not going to continue today. We are going to end here, and then we are going to answer some questions about the story. And the duck here has a question, so we can think about that as well. Stop. This is not the end of the story. What do you think happens next? So you can think about what you think will happen next. Now, one thing I wanted to point out in the story is that it is similar to another old story about Goldilocks, right? I don't know if you guys have heard about it. Maybe you have, but if you have heard about Goldilocks, the story of Goldilocks, then maybe you have caught on to what is going to happen next. And if you haven't heard about the story of Goldilocks, which is completely okay, then you guys can, just think about what is going to happen next. Now, the submission that you have to do is you have to read one page of the story, make an audio of yourself and upload it on LMS, okay? And read it yourself without help, okay? And remember, we always read these words first over here. This is the story. And then after that, we read what is in the picture. Okay, so first we read the part of the story and then we read the dialogue and whatever is in the speech bubble. And you only have to read one page, okay? Do not send me a long recording of 2 pages, just one page. You can choose if you want to do page number 62 or page number 63. All right.